m'appelle Lyndi, je suis américaine qui vit en France depuis plus de 8 ans. And if you've never heard of Nancy, well, let me tell you. So if you Google it, this will be the first thing most likely that pops up is Place Stanislas. There's good old Stanislas over there. But there is so much more to this city. I've done a couple of guides on it if you're looking for things to do. But for today's video, I wanted to show you some of the cool Art Nouveau style of architecture that the city is known for. So Art Nouveau was originally founded in 1901 by Émile. He brought together different designers such as Louis Majorelle, who does furniture and ironwork, and then there was Jacques Rubé, who made stained glass windows and roofs. There is also Eugène Vallin, who is a part of the École de Nancy style, Art Nouveau. He did wood sculpting and cabinet making. Now, I did want to start here at Place Stanislas, however, it's actually neoclassic and baroque style, not Art Nouveau. As we'll see in today's video, Art Nouveau is a very distinct style. You'll see a lot of nature, Japanese influence, such as like butterflies, peacocks, lots of curves, plants, again, lots of nature influence. So let's get started at a Nancy staple, l'Excelsior, and then we'll kind of work our way through and end over by the thermal spas. Allez, c'est parti! Behind me, we have the famous Excelsior, which is a brasserie or a brewery. And it actually used to be the Hôtel d'Angleterre or the English Hotel, but in 1911, l'Excelsior opened. And this building actually survived the wars and urban changes and was even classified as a historical monument in 1976. Also, side note, I recommend getting their affogato. It's actually Italian at the origin, but their take on it is really good. If you've never heard of it, it's just coffee with vanilla ice cream. But like I said, they kind of add a little twist to it, make it their own, and it's very, very delicious. So right now, we're at one of my favorites. You can see it right here. So this is the ancienne graineterie de Jamin, which graineterie is a seed shop. So he had the seed shop on the ground floor and then his living quarters above. So you'll see its exposed metal structure on the facade, which was quite unique for the time in Nancy. So you'll see a lot of floral designs and curved forms, which was very typical for Art Nouveau or Art Nouveau style. this facade right here. It was actually designed by Eugène Villaine for Arthur Boudreau's fur shop. He also carved hogweed as a motif, which is a popular plant in the École de Nancy style. So today we are off to La Maison Bergeret, and usually it's closed to the public. However, up until the end of August, it's open with a free reservation. It was built in the beginning of the 1900s in the École de Nancy style, which started the Art Nouveau movement. Par contre, il faut savoir, la visite est en français. Behind me we have immeuble lombard. It's maybe a little bit less flashy, but shows more of the typical everyday life, typical resident building would look like. So hopefully you can see that it really does range from more like experimental to more subtle elegance. I'll also show two other spots. I have it in some other videos where I show you things to do in Nancy, but there is the Museum École de Nancy, as well as the Villa Majorelle, which also show great examples of the Art Nouveau style. So I'll show you those here. Behind me, we have l'immeuble Biet, and it was originally designed by Georges Biet between 1901 and 1903. There were also the other two that I've mentioned quite a bit in this video, Jean Valin and Jacques Crébet. The bombing in October of 1917 actually destroyed quite a bit of the building, and it wasn't until 1922 that they started to do some reconstruction. Then in 1927, that's when Jean Prouvé, an architect from Nancy, he added the metallic metal structure to the terrace area. So behind me is the chambre de commerce et d'industrie. The entrance though is on the other side, so let's go. The windows here on the ground floor, they represent different landscapes for the Lorraine region. Next up, we are exploring Parc du Saurupt. The name is a little bit misleading. It's not actually a park, but it's a little neighborhood. So this area started in 1901 by Jules Villard, and he wanted to create like a modern city garden, so kind of a mix between the countryside and city. And only 6 villas were actually created out of the 88 that they had planned, and that was due to World War I halting construction. So in this neighborhood, it's actually more Art Deco style, and you notice that from the curves are much more understated, the lines are much more understated. The designs are also much more geometric. Instead of like the floral whimsy that we saw with the Art Nouveau style, Art Deco is much more about modern rigor. And all of these houses you can find on Rue des Brises. And I've actually never been over in this area. It's very calm, very cute. Again, it doesn't have a park, but there is some nature throughout here. We're on the street right next to it, but it's, again, this is not Art Nouveau, this is Art Deco, but such a cool style. Very, very pretty. It's also really cool as I walk down the street, they have little plaques that tell you the architect that made it as well as the year. And I'm seeing like 1927, 28, 29, 30. So we can see that Art Deco was after the Art Nouveau style. So there are many more Art Nouveau buildings I could show you, but I think I'll stop there for today. But please feel free to let me know your favorite in the comments below. Also, if you've ever heard of Art Nouveau. But until next time, thanks so much for watching. Gros bisous. Salut!